Hey, you guys, good morning. Bru Krebs here with Berkshire Hathaway in Atlanta's Midtown with your most recent market update with data from the Atlanta Board of Realtors, Realtor.com, Freddie Mac, and some other fantastic sources that really give us clear data on what's going on out there in the marketplace. We've been hearing a lot lately. People are panicking a little bit, thinking, are we getting ready to have a real estate crash? Is it all coming to an end? What will happen next? And we really like to look at the statistics and the data because it's easy to do that because recently, obviously, our interest rates were incredibly low, 2.5%, 3%, and now they're roaming up 6 and 7%, and possibly expected to go a little bit higher. We've seen inventories in homes start to increase, as well as the prices and our prices tend to level off a little bit, more negotiating room with the sellers, and also homes are typically sitting on the market for longer periods of time. To remind everybody, a regular market is 6 months on the market. That's when things are actually pretty balanced. That just means you've got the right amount of inventory. Things are working pretty regularly. There's typically about 6 months worth of inventory. Right now, we're still very low and under that number. And so I'm going to delve into a little bit of that first. And first, really, what I want to talk about is interest rates, because everybody's worried about these interest rates being so incredibly high. Because, relative to what we felt 2 years ago, it does feel kind of high, but the truth be told is 3% is basically keeping up with inflation. So that was free money. So if you got a loan back then, my God, hang on to it because it's gold really out there in the marketplace. But we've seen the Fed increase short-term rates, which has trickled down to the long-term rate. And so interest rates have gone up. The market has slowed down, which is very healthy actually for the marketplace. What we were in before, where we saw these incredible price increases and people paying $20,000, $50,000, $100,000 over list price, is just not a realistic marketplace. And it's pretty clear why that happened when you look at the inventory. So I'm going to click into inventory first. And if you like my videos, please be sure that you're subscribing to my channel and clicking that little bell button to get notified as soon as those new videos come out. We've got new stuff coming on all the time on market updates, property tours, basically anything that's related to Atlanta and real estate. So be sure that you're checking that out. And if you do have any questions as we go through, please comment those. I'll be more than happy to get you those answers. That is what I'm here for, to help you with anything that you may be looking for related to Atlanta and its real estate market. But so first, without further ado, let's look at the old housing inventory. And I'm going to share my screen with you here in 1 second. Let's see here. Advance, go here. All right. So you can see this is economic research from Fred, the St. Louis Fed. And this is basically what they call Fred Market Update. I'm going to bring my screen up there, hopefully a little bit. Clean that up just a little. There we go. All right. So, and as you can look back here in 2017, we had about 1.4 million homes on the market. It stayed fairly close around those numbers for several years. prices increased. They just didn't increase as much. And then all of a sudden we saw this drop in inventory. And this was about the beginning of 2021. Then we saw all these people, doing whatever they had to do to buy a home, making these insane offers, multiple offers, sometimes 10 or 20 offers on a new listing. And it would sell in the first day and they'd pay like $100,000 over the list price. Well, we saw that trickle out until right about here. And this is about when they upped the interest rates the first time this year. And you saw the inventory start to fill back up because buyers slowed down just a little bit and more sellers actually were putting their home on the market because they're like, okay, there are more homes out there. So I actually have an opportunity to buy a home if I sell mine, because that was one of the biggest challenges when there was no inventory. Sellers wouldn't sell because they were afraid they would not be able to have another place to live, which was actually a very realistic concern. So that is changing. And obviously the more that rates increase, the more the inventory will increase, because the buyer demand will slow down a little bit and the resale inventory will increase. And that's actually very healthy for the marketplace. It means it's not going for a huge crash. It means we're kind of, we hit that crazy dump there and then we kind of leveling off now, and we're going to kind of level off to a normal rate. And really it's important to look at those interest rates too over time, because if you look at interest rates where they are today, they are at right about 5.89, 6%, 6.7%, I think was the most recent one that I saw. And then over these last few years, they were incredibly low. But in normal markets, look there, 6.4%, Here's one, it's 8.12%. And these are really, the norm is right around here. See, 7.5 or so if you average that out. There was a time here where they were 18.28%, but in average, 7.5, 8. That's kind of normal. You kind of look at these 8s, 11, there's a couple of 11s. And in all these times, with the exception of 2010 or 2007 to like 2012, home prices were going up and appreciating at a regular rate. People who bought in 2012 and 13 have done extremely well because they were able to use really cheap money. And now it's starting to become a little bit more of a normal market. So that means normal interest rates, normal inventories, normal sales for all those folks that are in the marketplace. It's going to be a lot more opportunity for your buyers. And be sure that you stay tuned to the end of the video because I'm going to show you something that's really cool that will help you sort of think about where you're going with your home and your home purchase or sale as time goes along. But this is making a very healthy real estate market. That being said, let's take a look at the Atlanta numbers specifically. And let me box this up just a little bit more for you too. The Atlanta numbers specifically, this comes from the Atlanta Board of Realtors. This is the data they collect off of the real estate sales and market for the previous month. So this is data as of the end of August 22nd. We don't get this sort of really till the end of September. But you'll see that in August, there were 5,838 sales, 12,075 active listings, which is up a pretty good bit from what we've seen before. The average price is still going up though. Look at that, $484,500. There were 7,999 new listings and 1.9 months worth of supply. You'll remember a few months ago, we had like a half month's worth of supply. So we're now at 1.9 months. It's just becoming a little bit more healthy and a little bit more robust. You see here also the median sales price was $408,000. So that's what they sort of sold for. So now let's look at those sales. Now it is less sales than what we saw in 2021. 2021, the market, remember this market was so hot and people were buying at any price. Oops, let's go back there. At basically any price they could get at. And that's changed a little bit because, buyers are being a little bit more trepidatious. They're thinking more about the interest rates, thinking more about their sales price, what they're going to pay on a monthly basis. That's fairly normal to see. If you look at that median sales price, though, look at that. It was up 13.6% from 2021. Up 13.6% as the market has increased its interest rates and also slowed down tremendously. So home values are still increasing at a great pace. Same thing here really with that average sales price, $484,500, 13.7 increase again. So you're seeing a really strong increase in those home values with the supply still being less than what it should be. The more we see the rates tick up, though, of course, the more the supply will increase and, it might slow down just a little bit more as far as sales, but you can still expect those prices of those homes to continue to increase. Now, let's look at month supply. Again, that's kind of no surprise when they started raising those interest rates, click, 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 click. Here we saw those inventories go up. New listings are down a little bit, though, from last year, 10.1%. From the same time in 2021. Now, our active listings, though, is a big, let's get here. Can't get it to roll up there. So let's roll on down here. The active listings, it's interesting, is way up 32.8% from this time in 2021. That is because it's becoming more of a normal market. So that's a really good thing for the marketplace. Very, very healthy stuff that we actually love to see. So now let's talk about where are we going with our homes and what should we do over the next few years. And this is really what I wanted to kind of tune in here at the last for, is to see, what happens if we do have a recession? Okay, what would that actually mean to us? What would we be doing? What does it mean? And it doesn't necessarily mean that prices will fall. These have been the last 6 recessions, and you can see what's happened in those. Typically, with the exception of that terrible time that we had in 2007, prices have done pretty well. They continued to increase with the exception of one other time, and it only went down 1.9% and then started going right back up again. Recessions do, though, also mean that those interest rates will fall. So if it does have a slowdown in what might be called a recession in the housing market, what you're going to see is you're going to see those interest rates improve because it will help property move, and then the banks need to move loans so that they can actually make a profit. So it's really important to remember those things when you're thinking about the marketplace. Real estate is a long-term investment. for the most part. Now, there are people that do fix and flips, and that's the whole different bird. But for those folks that are in the housing market for their own place to live, by the time you calculate the tax savings you get from writing off the interest, the appreciation that you'll see even in a tougher market, the dollar appreciation, it's still an incredibly good investment. Very solid. If I was seeing inventories over the 6 months mark and starting to see people get real speculative, then I'd say, okay, now you got to worry. Right now, they're not being real speculative. The government loans are very homogenized. There's only so much you can do. So you can't really knock those big banks out like we could in 2007, who were doing just basically anything that they could think of. That's not allowed anymore. We've got some great regulations in place that hold those into place. And we're starting to see that market become a more normal market out there. So it's really actually very good news, even though it feels a little funky because, rates are going up and home sales are slowing down and stuff like that. But it's actually really good news for the marketplace overall, for homeowners overall, for buyers, and in the long term for sellers, because it means their homes won't hit a nosedive on the prices. At some point in the next few years, we're going to see them slow down. I'm expecting maybe 3 to 6% appreciation in the next coming years, which is still very good. I mean, at least it takes your interest rate out. So those are important things to think about. And if you do have any questions about any of this, please do not hesitate to comment those below the video. That's what I'm here for, is to answer these questions. I've been in the real estate business now for almost 28 years as a builder, real estate agent, worked with foreclosure companies. So I've been in a little bit of it all, seen all of the markets that we've seen, some absolutely bonkers in good ways and bad ways. So the market does ever change. So be sure that you're keeping up with what's going on so that you have the best knowledge to make the best decisions for you. And if you ever have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. You can call me, text me, comment, whatever, and I'm happy to help you in any way. Just if it's just some random question that you don't really quite know the answer to. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in today, because I do get calls all the time from people looking to buy and sell in the in-town real estate market. In like Buckhead, Midtown, Old Fourth Ward, MM Park, West Midtown, Grant Park, Glenwood Park, and all those kind of areas, a lot around the East Side Beltline Trail, Virginia Highlands. So if you do have any questions about those areas, I'd be more than happy to help you out. And if you have any questions really anywhere in the country, we have affiliates everywhere. So please do not hesitate to ask us. That is what we're here for, to help you do the very best that you can in your real estate endeavors. And our experience and expertise and resources here at Berkshire Hathaway will really help you, whether you're a buyer or a seller. And we are so happy to do it. I love it. So thank you very much. I appreciate you guys tuning in today. And don't forget, if you haven't already, subscribe to that channel and click that little bell button to be notified when those new videos come out. I'd really appreciate you. And please like, comment, and share my videos to help me reach more great folks just like you and beat those algorithms out there. Thank you again for watching today. I hope you have a wonderful and amazing day and a super successful real estate life.